Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline at Pixie Dust PhD. I am filming this on Thursday, May 11th, 2023. That makes this the month 39 creator update. I frequently use the creator updates to talk a lot about Disney news and Disney Vacation Club news. We will still do that a little bit this month, but maybe not as much as usual. Pretty recently on the channel, I did post an entire own video just covering recent Disney Vacation Club news, so feel free to check that out if you want to be caught up. We will talk about the quality of life updates coming to Walt Disney World in 2024, as well as something I think is clearly missing. But otherwise, we're going to move back into the older format of monthly creator update where I use some of this time to just rant and talk about life on YouTube. I got a couple interesting questions in this past month that I will address today. Following that, we will then, of course, do stats, analytics, and revenue, both for just this month as well as lifetime of the channel. Stay tuned. Like I mentioned, we did sort of already cover relevant Disney Vacation Club news in another video already on the channel. We talked about the Cabins at Fort Wilderness announcement, as well as the updated public offering statement that names Reflections and the Polynesian, well, the Polynesian as the hotel, not the Polynesian as PVV. We also did go over the current incentives for buying into villas at Disneyland Hotel. We do expect those to change once general sales happen. I'm not going to go over any of that again in this video. I feel like we presented what facts we know, and I did give my opinion in that other video. I think it's less than 10 minutes, so please do check it out if you're interested. And there has been a lot of news, but I really just want to focus on one main topic. That was a Disney Parks blog about 2024 updates for Walt Disney World. They posted this on Monday. A lot of great quality of life updates. First, theme park reservations for dated tickets will no longer be required starting January 9th, 2024. This is great, so we're going back to the days of not needing theme park reservations if you have a dated ticket. Presumably more details will come as we get closer to this time, but they were pretty specific about dated tickets. To me, that means for the most part, folks with annual passes or non-dated tickets, which I believe the military tickets are often non-dated, you still are going to need to make theme park reservations for the most part. And this wasn't actually clarified in the blog post, and I hope maybe they fix this as we get closer, but being so specific about dated tickets means to me that if you have an annual pass, but are staying on property at an on-property resort, you still will have to make reservations, I think, which in my opinion is kind of annoying and a big oversight. So sure, if you have an annual pass and you are just popping in the parks whenever you want, fine, yes, do that on reservations or using your good-to-go days, which we will touch on later. But if you are staying on property, you've made that reservation, you're paying to stay in one of the on-property hotels, it seems pretty implied to me that you're going to the parks. So even though you don't have the dated ticket, you do have the dates of your hotel stay. So why not just do it based off that? And sure, some people will stay on property and not go to the parks, but you're not going to be overcounting by that many. I think the instances of annual pass holders staying on property, not going to parks is probably fairly low overall. So yeah, I hope they address that in the future. And between now and January 9th, 2024, everyone does still need to make theme park reservations. So yay, very exciting news, but do note the effective date. And if you're going between now and January, you still need to make theme park reservations. Second, this blog post did confirm that early entry as well as extended evening hours for deluxe guests and villa guests are going to continue through 2024. This is not really a surprise, but it is nice to have that confirmation. Third, and for some of you, I know this will be the biggest highlight of this whole post, is that they are going to modify Genie Plus. They did not say exactly how. I think we're going to have to wait a while for details, but this is good news overall. This section of the blog that talks about simplifying Genie Plus in the future does specifically mention that a lot of guests have voiced that they liked being able to make their choices before the day that they're in the park. So much like in FastPass Plus, you could make up to 3 selections before you ever arrived. Right now, everything Genie Plus is day of, so you really can't plan in advance and you have to be making those selections day of constantly. Seems like enough folks have been vocal about the fact that that means you're tied to your phone, you're not able to immerse yourself in the magic as much if you're trying to figure out when you can get on Space Mountain. It'll be really interesting to see how they decide to modify or simplify Genie Plus without it just becoming FastPass Plus again, so stay tuned. But good to know that they are listening to the feedback, and I think I mentioned this when Bob Iger took over. I was anticipating Genie Plus would stay, but be changed. So I think them making updates all in all is a good thing. Next, and I know this will be a highlight for some of you, they announced that the Disney dining plan is returning. Again, that's not happening right now. We are going to have to wait until January 9th, 2024. And they specifically named the quick service dining plan and the Disney dining plan. So there used to be 4 dining plans, and these were the 2 lower. Previously, the quick service dining plan had 2 quick service meals per day, 1 snack per day, and then you get your refillable mug for the length of your stay. And previously, the Disney dining plan had 1 quick service meal per day, 1 table service meal per day, 1 snack per day, and again, the refillable mug for the length of your stay. The plans that expressly weren't mentioned were the Plus plans and the Deluxe plans. These were the upper tier plans where essentially you got more table service dining credits. Now that's what the quick service plan and the Disney dining plan used to be, they did not confirm those details, so moving forward in 2024, we're not really sure what they will include, and we definitely don't know what pricing is. There have been changes to these dining plans in the past. Famously, I think once upon a time, the Disney dining plan included an appetizer at sit-down meals, and now it does not. So we will see what is included and what pricing is as the time gets closer. I am excited to see the dining plans return in general. It has been a really, really long time coming, if you ask me. For example, every festival that's happened at Epcot, on the menu boards, they've still been printing the Disney dining plan snack credit eligible symbol this whole time that we haven't had the Disney dining plan. For me personally, though, I am a little bummed because I think we would get the most value out of it monetarily for sit-down meals. And if they have removed the deluxe dining plan, and, presumably the Disney dining plan will still be a mix of table service credits and quick service credits, I don't know that it's as good for us anymore. But we're not planning on going in 2024, so our next trip would be in 2025, and by then who knows what else will change, and maybe we'll just try it out anyway for a short segment of our stay. But for those of you who enjoyed the math of planning your meals in advance and then comparing to the dining plan, you will be able to do that sooner rather than later. And maybe you'll save some money. And for the rest of you that like the dining plan for the convenience, it is coming back effective early 2024. And last, I alluded to this a bit earlier, annual pass holders are going to get good to go days. These are going to replace the current bonus days. So there will be some days where you don't need a reservation at all to go to the park starting in 2024. That's pretty much all the details we got. Here's a big thing I think is missing is apparently park hopping is still going to be restricted till 2 p.m. I do not love this. I don't like that it's restricted at all, but at the very least, I would much prefer if they changed the restrictions to 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. That way you can rope drop early morning at, Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom, something. Do that for a couple hours. Once a ton of crowds start coming in, then you can leave and you can park hop to Epcot and grab lunch. This is my biggest complaint, really, is that 2 p.m. is too late to be grabbing a reasonably timed lunch at your second park. At least for me. I don't know. I get hungry before then. So yeah, nothing about park hopping, which is so very annoying. You're getting rid of reservations, hooray, so then can we loosen up park hopping also? What is the hindrance there? What's stopping that? I don't understand the logic. If anyone knows or has an intelligent guess based on logic of why they need to restrict park hopping and why it's 2 p.m., I would really love to hear it because I am just struggling with that. That was all the big news from the blog post this past Monday. These are really good quality of life updates. I'm definitely not here to complain. I think they are all good steps forward. I am still annoyed about park hopping, and certainly we need more details, but good news is coming. But you do have to wait till 2024 for most of these. And I've had a few of you ask me to do a rundown and give my opinion on the ongoing lawsuit. Frankly, I just haven't been following it that closely, so I don't feel qualified to talk about it. If you really want to know more, I would suggest you follow Scott Gustin over on Twitter. He does a pretty good job covering these topics. My current uninformed opinion is basically, I think this is going to be wrapped up in litigation for a while, and by a while I mean on the scale of years, unless they settle out, and if they settle, that kind of means Disney wins, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to drop this by any means. So while things are tied up in court, I just feel pretty strongly that nothing's really going to change. In my opinion, we shouldn't be seeing any dramatic effects while things are under pending litigation. So if you really want to know what's going on, I'm sure it's interesting. I just, don't have enough brain space to pay attention to every little news piece in the world. So that's one that I've decided is just not worth my time. All right, that was the news. We will now move on to sort of older monthly creator update styles where we're talking more about YouTube. Several people have asked me why I have two separate channels. So if you don't know, this is my main channel, Pixie Dust PhD, and then I do have more of a personal vlog type channel called Trying to Have a Life. This was just a personal decision I made 3.5 years ago, basically. Ostensibly, I could absolutely combine the two. There's plenty of people who just have, it's, their channel and their life, and it is fairly Disney focused, but then they pepper in their other vacations or whatever else is going around, their hometown, their life, etc. I just prefer content that's pretty focused, so this channel is pretty much Disney. I mean, even in 2021, before we went on our trip, I knew we were going to go to Universal for a few days, and I wasn't sure if that would be appropriate for the channel, and I polled people on Twitter and, asked some of the friends of the channel, hey, do you want to see the Universal stuff? And overwhelmingly, the answer was yes. So this is mostly Disney. I would say largely, though, it's theme parks, mostly Disney and a little bit of other theme park stuff. And then I just didn't want to put DC happy hours on this channel or when we travel to Europe on this channel. It just felt so out of place. So I personally chose to separate them 3.5 years ago when I claimed the Pixie Dust PhD Gmail and therefore the YouTube account and then also Twitter, Instagram, etc. I also claimed Trying to Have a Life everywhere. There is a case to be made for if you combine everything together, you're probably going to get more subs overall, more impressions, more interactions, all that kind of stuff. Certainly separating it out, like this channel's doing well, my second channel's not doing well, but I also don't hold myself to posting on my second channel at all. More recently, I have been posting shorts a lot over there because it's just so much easier and simpler for me to like, hey, we went to a happy hour, here's what we ate, instead of make a whole video on it, really. But yeah, that's just kind of where I dump other things when I have time, which isn't that often. And I still haven't really put any meaningful footage from our France trip on there, and that's coming up on a year ago now. In a perfect world, I have time to post regularly to both channels. That's just not how it's working out with my full-time job and other life commitments. So I focus on this channel. The other channel exists. It's kind of my pet project. It doesn't exist to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm not trying to get monetized. I'm not trying to do anything with that other than sort of preserve my memories. And yeah, I just didn't want that other stuff clogging up the Mostly Disney channel, especially for a long time when I started this channel. It was mostly informational, and the vlog, the personal vlog, is not that. The second question/comment I've gotten kind of a lot recently is essentially, it seems like I record stuff and then post it out of order on the channel. Why do I do that? What's the thought process? How can I figure out when things were recorded, etc.? So yes, I definitely do record things, and then sometimes they don't get posted for months and months on end. Obviously, when we're actively traveling and in the parks, I'm filming in the parks that was filmed on a certain day. And if we have time and energy to reflect on that day, we try to, but it doesn't always work out. So then when we return home, and after we've rested for a day or two and caught up on laundry and such, then we tend to record like all of our reaction videos that we didn't get to while we were literally traveling. For trip content, we do try to record it all near each other in time, and then when it gets posted, it's just kind of, it happens sometime in the next 6 months or so. Informational content is different, wherein if it's not super timely informational content, I can record it and hold it for like 2-3 months or whatever, post it when it just fits into the schedule, and it's not a big deal. Ideally, for trip content, I do like to post it closer to my trip than not, but because those aren't timely per se, it's not pressing, it's not news, it's not big policy stuff or whatever, I feel fine pushing it off. So for example, in the upcoming month, you're going to get a lot of content about Villas at Disneyland Hotel, because I do think that's actually really timely to be sharing right now, which means that previously planned trip or informational content that's not as timely is just going to get pushed off. The other thing I try to post pretty close to when I recorded is the 7-month DVC availability videos. It's never going to happen right away, but I try to record usually on a Saturday, Sunday, and then post it on that Wednesday. That way it's soon-ish. It reflects close to soon availability. But yeah, otherwise, for the most part, having content that I can record now and post in 3 weeks or 8 weeks or something is how I keep the channel alive, because I don't necessarily every week have time to script a video, record a video, edit it, upload it, edit the captions, do the description, all of that. Like, some weeks in my life are really jam-packed. So when I have easier weeks, I do more recordings and more editing and all that, and then they're kind of in the bank. In terms of you being able to figure out when something was recorded versus posted, there's several methods here. So first, for anything timely, I do tend to try to put in YouTube Studio the day I actually recorded it. Sometimes I also voice it out loud. And on almost all of the shorts, I've been trying really hard to put the day it was recorded. Not that the shorts are timely, but I think sometimes people like to know how the theme parks change over time. So if I'm posting footage from 2019, I've been trying to put the date on there. For informational type videos, I often will not put the date of the recording because I don't feel like it's actually relevant to the information being presented. But key things, if you really want to try to track it, is you can always look at what color my hair is and how grown out my roots are, as well as what my nails look like. I tend to do my hair every 6 to 8 weeks, and then I tend to have my nails painted more often than not for a week and a half to 2 weeks at a time. And I guess the real secret here you would apply is I tend to record more than one video on the same day. So in any given video, you can probably look at what my hair looks like, what my nails look like, and then go through the monthly creator updates and see what my hair looks like, what my nails look like in those, and compare. But also, if it's ever really of interest to you for any reason you want to know when something was recorded, feel free to leave a comment on that video and I can go back through my files and tell you. But yeah, basically some stuff is more timely, so I'll record it and work really hard to push it out fast, but pushing something out fast also means that I delay other things because I don't tend to post more than 2 proper videos a week. This is how I keep a regular schedule. In theory, I could post all the timely content right away and keep the regularly scheduled stuff, but then it's just harder for me to maintain the pace of the channel. Thanks for your questions, and when I do get common themes from different people and questions, it is fun to reflect on them in this sort of format, so I do appreciate your thoughts. Let's move on to analytics then. For month 39, this ran from April 11th through May 10th. And we posted a lot of videos this month, pretty much twice as much as normal. There was the Space 220 lunch review and last month's creator update. Then we did a 7-month DVC availability looking at Thanksgiving 2023. Then we finally had some Villas at Disneyland Hotel news. This was like the sale date, the points charts, that kind of stuff. Then I talked about the MasterCard perk at Disneyland Paris for seeing the shows. Did that crowdsourcing information on the DVC policy in terms of how many points you need to buy direct at one go in order to start qualifying for membership extras. Spoiler alert, I still don't have official confirmation, but I think my guide was just wrong. I'm really very upset about the whole situation. But thanks to everyone who did provide legit feedback on that. It was very helpful. My partner and I ranked DVC split stays. This was kind of based off the year 3 monthly creator update. I found out through your feedback that you guys kind of like those opinion-based videos and when we're chatting about that stuff. So thanks for the idea. Then, as I alluded to earlier, we did the DVC news update as its own standalone video. I felt like there was enough to draw attention to everything together. I didn't feel like separately they were enough, and I didn't want to bury it in the monthly creator update per se. So yeah, got its own video this time. Maybe we'll do that more in the future, we'll see. And then the last day of this monthly period, just yesterday on May 10th, we posted the 1-day memory maker video at Walt Disney World. Top content this month as per usual, mostly shorts, so no surprise there. We did have a couple proper videos sneak in here, Disney Vacation Club and Walt Disney World topics. And the only video that made it into the top monthly videos by views that was not posted this month was the Disability Access Service video. For month 39, we got over 13,000 views in just this one monthly period, which is just the 5th time that we've gotten over 10,000 views in one monthly period. Very exciting. And unlike some of the other months that we've exceeded 10,000 views, I didn't have one single short blow up and get 5,000, 9,000 or whatever views. It was kind of more evenly distributed, which is encouraging. This month we reached over 10,000 unique viewers, which is only the 3rd time that we've gotten over 10,000 in this stat, and 520 viewer returning. That's huge. That is a record. Thank you so much for coming back. I so actually do appreciate you liking the video, subscribing to the channel, sharing with friends, and definitely watching and just engaging. It's awesome. This resulted in almost 550 watch hours this month, so not a record, but still a very good month, I would say. And in month 39, the channel had over 102,000 impressions. This is the first time in one monthly period we've gotten over 100,000 impressions. 44.5% of those impressions were from YouTube. This is a little bit decreased from some prior months where we were higher, but close to 45%, so I'm pretty happy with that. And this month we got 49 new subscribers, so not a record, but definitely a very strong showing for one month for me. Also this month, according to YouTube, the majority of those subscribers actually came from the Shorts feed, so Shorts are maybe starting to pay off in terms of subscribers. Hooray! And just a little side note about subscribers here. So when you go into YouTube Analytics, you can look at your subscribers for every day, which is not healthy and I don't encourage it per se. And to my knowledge, this is the first time that for a set monthly period, every day has been 0 or positive numbers of subscribers. I didn't have a day during this monthly period where the net number of subscribers was a negative number. I'm sure if I cherry-picked other 30 to 31 day periods, I could have made it work, but generally speaking, in my monthly period from the 11th to the 10th of every given month, there's always been a couple days where it's -1 subscriber, -2 subscribers. And like I said, this probably isn't a healthy thing to look at because in a 1 day period, you can't control what people are doing. And, if you average it out over the month, obviously it's not negative, but having an entire month with no negative days was very exciting to me. Moving on to other social media, on Twitter, I am following 1,384 accounts and 1,081 are following me. And on Instagram, I am following 717 accounts and 469 are following me. For lifetime analytics, the channel is now at over 200,000 views. Very exciting. I honestly didn't think we would hit that milestone this month, so hooray. And this has resulted in over 13,600 watch hours. We broke 13,500 as well. As predicted last month, the channel now has over 2 million impressions, and 35.3% of these are from YouTube, so the stat continues to grow little by little. Still makes me very happy. And overall, we have 1,309 subscribers. Last month, I was not sure we would hit the 1,300 mark this month. We broke it, so very stoked about that. And looking at the breakdown lifetime, though, you can see that most of the subscribers are not coming from the Shorts feed. Again, I haven't been posting Shorts the whole lifetime of the channel, so it's a little bit skewed here. And I am grateful for all 141 of those people. But, the core videos, I think, is where the subscribers generally are coming from. Doing some reflections this month compared to last month was great. Every stat did better. And last month wasn't a terrible month. I think it was an average to above average month still. So yeah, no complaints. I am really very chuffed about this. And lifetime, like I said, we hit some really cool milestones and definitely some I wasn't expecting to hit, like 1,300 subscribers and 200,000 views. It is entirely possible we'll hit 1,350 subscribers by next month. We'll see, none of that's up to me, but the way things are going, it could happen. I guess it all depends on if folks are interested in the content that's going to be coming out next month or not. Revenue-wise, this has been a pretty good month for me. So just for month 39, we made about $40. That's about $15.50 for every 1,000 views, or about $7.21 for every 1,000 ad views. Comparing the shorts to the videos, as we've seen in past monthly creator updates, revenue definitely really only comes from the proper videos, not getting revenue from the shorts feed. Lifetime for the channel revenue is at about $280. Since we last spoke, I did receive my second ever paycheck from YouTube, so that came in late April for a little bit over $100. Overall, this breaks out to under $1.50 for every 1,000 overall views and over $16 for every 1,000 ad views. And again, this is mostly not coming from the shorts feed. And here is the breakdown of revenue for the past 6 months or so. Generally speaking, again, $1 a day, maybe $1 and change, but nothing life-changing. For longer term revenue goals, I really haven't made much progress. Since we last spoke, I mentioned that I am probably going to buy a camera. I have done more research into that, and I am still leaning toward the ZV-1. That being said, if you're watching this video, you can probably appreciate that research is very important to me, so I don't feel like I've done a thorough enough job yet to quite buy. And also I am just sort of waiting to see if there are going to be Memorial Day weekend sales. But yeah, probably going to buy the Sony ZV-1. Last month, I warned you that there may be a break in content upcoming, and I am very pleased to say that should not be the case. So for upcoming content, it is going to be pretty Villas at Disneyland Hotel focused. Yesterday is technically in this monthly period, but it will have only been one day. So, the start of stats for the next monthly period in my head is going to start with that Memory Maker one day video. Then we will have this creator update, and I am planning on shortly posting a video really going over the policy and a very concrete example for borrowing points from Disney Vacation Club, because I found out there's a lot of confusion about that. Then yeah, just a ton of Villas at Disneyland hotel stuff, so spoiler alert, we bought in. So we'll talk about the process of buying in as its own video, and then my opinions about that process as a separate video. We will also go over transient taxes at Villas at Disneyland Hotel, so that will be some facts as well as some opinions mixed in. And I haven't filmed this yet, but I've had a lot of people ask me why I'm buying at Villas at Disneyland Hotel, and then we also bought 150 points, so a lot of people asked me also about that. I'll probably just make a video about that. It is fairly personal, not in like a sensitive way, just in a way that, well, this is my situation, and so here is why I made these decisions. It probably won't apply to a lot of people, but enough people have asked that it seems like it's of interest. And then we will probably close out the month with the Bull and Bear review. So that was the steakhouse that we ate at in January at the Waldorf Astoria in Orlando. Past that, we've got a bunch of stuff that I have pushed off to make room for the Villas at Disneyland Hotel content. So we've definitely got the Waldorf Astoria room tour coming, and then other Walt Disney World January 2023 trip reflections. So new things that we did that we wanted to talk about, highlights, lowlights, that kind of stuff. I've not yet filmed this, but I do intend to make this video at some point where I'm going to compare buying Disney Vacation Club through the resale process versus directly through DVC. Again, that's not like the most timely content, so it might not come out super soon. It might get pushed back. But I definitely was surprised at some aspects of how dissimilar they were in categories that I would not have guessed. Then I have some Disneyland Paris PhotoPass info and opinion videos lined up, as well as DOS Round 2. The secondary disability access service video answering your frequently asked questions basically is filmed. It is not edited, it is not uploaded, and then we've got all this other content that's ready to go. So not gonna lie, by the time it gets posted, it might be August. Just warning you. And if I have time in the upcoming weeks, I would like to do a Disney Vacation Club availability 7-month video looking at Christmas time. It really just depends on how my work life goes though, and if I have time to put that out. But yeah, that'll about wrap it up for this month. Like I said, some really good quality of life updates coming to Walt Disney World in 2024. A lot of little snippets of DVC news that are interesting at the very least. Some of them are exciting, some of them, less so, but you take what you can get. We bought into Villas at Disneyland Hotel, so I'm excited to share that with you in the upcoming month. And as always, if you have suggestions for topics for videos or questions about anything, feel free to leave those in the comments down below. For all of you finishing up school terms, whether you're teachers or staff in a school system or your kids are doing it, I hope you're having a great end of that season and start of your summer. May the rest of your day be magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.